Welcome, apprentices, acolytes, and fellow Sith Lords coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force sensitives like yourself. I'm Lord Dagovere, fam, and it's so good to see you. I had no idea what camera to put on. I was so slow with it, man. I had no idea what I was doing. Yo, let's go. Leon in the chat. Trent, always good to see you. Skywalker Academy. Can I get ready up? Let's go. How y'all doing today? Man, I feel like it's been a bit. Maybe it's because I've been in the movies so much recently because of Jurassic Park and then Superman. And then the next couple weeks is also going to be what? Fantastic Four? Almost said Fantastic Five. Jeez. But how y'all doing today? My chair is extra squeaky today. How y'all doing today? We got some takes. We got some lore. We got some knowledge. Excuse me. Knowledge. Yeah, we all like the knowledge. Let's go. Apprentices and acolytes. Yeah, man, I am so close to finishing this Lego build. Like, I literally only have one more bag. Should I show you guys? Press 1 in the chat. Can I get all the apprentices and acolytes inside the chat to press 1 so you guys can see what's going on with the Legos? This is actually one of my favorite builds, man. I wasn't really allowed to collect toys and things like that when I was younger, so I'm just now buying Legos and stuff for the last like three years, I would say. But I'm gonna show you this one. This one for me is so fun. Ooh, dude, it is so sick. It is so cool, man. Like, it's so cool. It opens up. It is so cool, dude. And it comes with Padme. Like, Padme's right there. Yo. Sorry, Padme. I keep saying her name wrong, man. It's like, I don't know. I've always said her name as Padme, even though it's Padme. Oh my god, people are just absolutely destroying me online. I opened up one of the last boxes, or excuse me, one of the last bags. And the second to last bag gives you your boy. Papa Palpatine. So he looks so funny. He looks so silly. Every other minifig that you get like comes with legs. He doesn't have legs. He just has a block for his robe. It's so funny. But that's by far one of the coolest ones I have made so far. I got the Interceptor, and the Interceptor was fun because it's one of my favorite ships in Star Wars. But man, that one was very frustrating to build. Like, even right now, it still like does not stand straight. It's the only build that I've ever like gotten frustrated over so much that I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna do another ship. I got the Ahsoka Jedi Shuttle 2, which is really fun. That one was fun. That one has a problem with standing up straight too. I don't know if it's like a me problem or if it's just that one just didn't have like some Lego starship thing that it's supposed to hold. I don't know, man. But that one was really difficult to keep up as well. The BB9, or excuse me, not the BB9, the BD1 buddy, dude, that one is. I love that build. I love that build so much, man. It is so fun. There's only one build that I'm looking to get later when it comes out, and I think that's going to be the Separatist tank, where it's able to show all the B1 battle droids coming out, the one from the Phantom Menace. That's the one I'm gonna want to get. I really wanted to get the AT tank from the with the one from Revenge of the Sith, but I don't know, man. I keep seeing like terrible reviews of it. It's I think the price is what's stopping me, honestly. I saw how like they've compared certain like Lego builds that have like even more or even less, and it's supposed to be cheaper. Like this one, apparently that the number of blocks it's supposed to be coming out with is apparently like almost like $80 marked up compared to like how it's actually officially like worth, which was like crazy. I didn't even know about that, man. That was crazy. Skywalker Academy says, I got that for my nephew's birthday. I think I won a Best Present Award. Yeah, that is sick. That is actually a great birthday gift. Honestly, I am jealous. I don't know, man. Like, I've only seen so many Star Wars Legos, like in my life. Seriously, like it's. I really only started to do this maybe like 4 years ago. Like I said, I wasn't able to collect toys and things like that when I was younger, especially like that. You know, going down toy aisles is like, you know, that's not a good thing. So, yeah. So I didn't know that there were so many. And when I saw that there was like this whole community on TikTok, yeah, Logan says, Unk, yeah, bro, no, you got no idea, bro. No, I'm not even. I'm Gandalf right now, bro. That's how I feel. I don't even say I'm old Ben Kenobi, but I'm that Gandalf right now, man. I'm hitting Gandalf status. All right. By the way, can we get everyone to welcome Logan with the ready up? All right. So, shall we get into the bad takes? Shall we get into the good takes? Shall we get into some fun stuff today? We have some stuff that I wanted to go over. I wanted to watch a video. I wanted to do the first time where we watch a video and see what someone reacts to. I think this person's name is, you guys may know this person. I don't know too many people like I used to back in the day, where I was always watching streamers and things like that. But it looks like in the bad take section, I think was it Moist Critical? Critical Moist? Moistly Critical? Critically Moistingly himself?
I finally did.
So, I wanted to watch this with you guys. And see your reactions, and I don't know if you guys watch him or whatnot, or know who he is. I know that he is a pretty well-known content creator, and that people really like what he says. But I wanted to see this. One of my friends had told me about it and messaged me about it, so I wanted to see like the first like couple minutes and see. So if you guys are ready, let me know. Press 1, and then we'll go ahead and watch it together. I saw that in my feed, but I don't know what it's about. All right, here we go. So we're going to do it. All right, ready? So 3, 2, 1.
Did it. I finally finished Andor Season 2.
Oh, wow.
I went back and rewatched all of Season 1 and then Season 2, which is why it's taken me so embarrassingly long to finish it. Okay. I really liked Season 1. I didn't review it at the time, though, because it took me a while to finish it. And back then, when I was still doing moist meters, I figured if you're not first, you're last. I thought if too much time passed, no one would care. But I'd always talked very positively about Andor Season 1 on streams. But now that I don't do moist meters per se anymore, now I just do really thorough reviews. To the party with Andor Season 2 here, and don't give a fuck, because I really want to talk about this. It is some of the finest television you'll find. And I mean that genuinely. It's not just good for Star Wars, it is just good in general. This is like some really...
Oh, Trent, you hate this guy? Trent, you hate this guy? Really? Why do we hate this guy? I don't know. I heard that I was supposed to watch this video, so I saw a couple people recommend it to me. I don't know anything about him outside of like he's a content creator and people react to him. I think he has a reaction. He goes, "Woo!" You know, I'm surprised I've never been memed as a reactor. I feel like I've had quite a few. His Acolyte reviews are gold. Oh, really? Charlie's wordplay is legendary. I used to watch his memes in high school. Oh, snap. Okay. Yeah, dang, dude. Yeah. Okay. I think that's the only one. I don't know. Maybe hate is too strong. I've just always found him annoying. Interesting. I think a lot of people find content creators annoying in general, especially when they're on the wrong side of the argument. And what I mean by wrong side of the argument is like you don't agree with what they're saying. And I think all content creators can be made a villain, you know. I made a villain. You know, I got put on Nerderotic's channel and everybody hates me because I loved Ahsoka, you know, even though I thought that the dialogue was kind of meh and the action was whatever. But, hey, you know, I guess that's cool. But it is what it is. I think if you're looking in and seeing TikTok and everything else and you're going to find this person on Twitter, someone's going to villainize you in some way. Yeah, especially when context is so important. They see what you're saying, this is trash, this is great, but it's only like a 3-second clip and you didn't watch the whole thing, what the person is talking about. You know, It is what it is, man. Yo, Tazzy, it's so good to see everybody. Welcome Tazzy with the ready up. Finally, got him in the stream. Finally. That's so cool. I don't know what happened. I don't know what was going on, but you weren't muted or anything. It might have been that stream. I don't know. But yeah, so far I agree with what he's saying. Let's keep it going.
Intelligent writing. And I know that makes me sound like a fucking Rick and Morty Redditor, but this is one of the actual smartest shows I've seen when it comes to their villains and their schemes. But not just the villains. The villains are so fucking smart and conniving that it forces all of the heroes, the people that you root for, to also be even smarter to try and stay ahead of it or try and use that to their advantage. It's such an incredible show.
Yes.
Like, I mean this sincerely. It is the best Star Wars that Disney has produced, by far, but also some of the best Star Wars produced in general since the original trilogy. And
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that Andor is definitely one of the best Star Wars created, but I don't think that it is the best. Obviously, he didn't say that it was the best ever. He said that it was the best that Disney has produced. I think that it's up there. I still think Mandalorian season 1 and 2 is like the gold bar, because even with how amazing Andor is, it's not gripping the world like Mandalorian season 1 and 2. You know, everybody was talking about Mandalorian season 1 and 2. Everybody. They were talking about Baby Yoda. They were talking about Grogu, chocolate milk and chicken nuggets. That's how it was. So I that's why I've always believed that Mandalorian 1 and season 2. I just don't think it's ever going to be beaten. It's very hard in this world to like grip the universe like that, and that was the first ever made-for-TV Star Wars, and they just got lightning in a bottle. But Andor is amazing, absolutely. Andor is amazing. You know, there's no doubt about it. Is it the best Star Wars ever? Maybe for you, but not for me. You know, I'm building Lego while listening to the stream. Let's go. That's the way you do it, man. Yeah, I don't agree with him on that one. Yeah.
I know a lot of people have shared that sentiment, and before I finished season 2, I didn't really see that, because the first couple of episodes I watched when they dropped, and they didn't hook me. Not in the same way that Andor season 1 did, which is why I kind of petered off and waited so long.
So that's the other thing too, is I feel like even though that, in my opinion, Andor is still one of the greatest Star Wars whatevers in creation of Star Wars, dude, the first season is extremely slow. The first season is very, very slow. Even at the end of that first arc, that third episode still is quite slow. That's a very long time for people to sit there and watch 3 episodes to get a payoff. Second season of Andor is the same thing. It is very, very slow. There's a lot of people in this world that they have TikTok short form, mind rot, brain rot, whatever you want to call it. There is no attention span. And I still feel like, people saying like, well, people aren't watching it because it's too slow, it's too complex. I don't feel like that allows the show to give an excuse to be the way it is. I still think you need to adhere to certain people, especially people that love lightsabers and the Force. And although Andor is amazing, I do believe that is one of the reasons why a lot of people are not going to watch it, because they don't have the patience. Does that make Andor any less great? No, it does not. But there's a reason why it's not the most watched Star Wars of all time, or the most watched TV series of all time, and that's probably one of the reasons.
They didn't grip me. But after those first 3 episodes, the whole picture comes into focus, and what they create here is nothing shy of a masterpiece. And it is a tragedy that so many Star Wars fans wrote this off as something that they wouldn't support because it's too dark. Like, what the fuck even is that criticism? We're not allowed to have, like, mature shows in Star Wars. There are a lot of people unironically arguing that Star Wars is supposed to be for everyone of all ages all the time, which this show is definitely not. A lot of viewers will find a lot of instances in here very disturbing. So they said that because this show is more gritty and dark, it's not a Star Wars show, and it shouldn't be supported as such, which I think is so stupid. To actually lobby against a show that is actually trying to deliver something special, something thought-provoking, and be like, nope, that's bad. That's real bad. We don't.
Dude, I think he's speaking facts. Like I think he's really funny, by the way, and I really enjoy that he's got Sauron in the back, which is pretty sick. So that's props. I think there's a brawling character behind him too. I also appreciate that, so I like that. I think he understands. Like he seems very cultured. He understands. So I think he's speaking facts, man. I don't know. It's really weird for me when I watch Andor, and I'm someone that reads the comics, I read the books and stuff like that, and someone says that they can't get into Andor that does read the comics, that does read the books, that is an expanded universe fan. Because the first time I saw Andor, even though it was very slow, it didn't have the Force or lightsabers, I thought it was an expanded universe book. Like, the way it played out, how slow it was, the whole universe, I don't know, man. Like, I just felt like Andor was the expanded universe fan dream, you know? That's honestly why it hooked me. The only thing that I feel like is missing from Andor, and I'll keep saying this no matter how many people are going to destroy me online, Andor needed a lightsaber and the Force. Like, it needed it. And I mean it because it needs to be in there for small-minded people that do not have the attention span. It's an ingredient. It's like I'm getting a birthday cake on my birthday without the candles or without the happy birthday. I know, right? So basic, but it's a missing ingredient, man, and I feel like that's what held it back. But damn, bro, like, even when I watch, and I've been watching season 2 so much, like, I'm just like, man, imagine if we had this, but the Old Republic. Man, imagine if we had this, but, like, the sequel trilogy. It's just, that's how good Andor is, and I would love that template in every era of Star Wars, you know? And no matter how slow it is to me, because I feel like even with how great Andor was, there's, like, that is the foundation to build upon. Every project should try to replicate what Andor did. Not be the same, but replicate the quality. Trent says, yeah, I wish they would have made Luthen more sensitive. That's really interesting. Sarah will go to top 5 villains. Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes. I love Lord of the Rings. If it wasn't for Star Wars, I'd probably be so obsessed with Lord of the Rings. Logan says, I think of Competent Empire and Gritty Rebellion as being an EU fixture. Empire has been silly and Rebels regular heroes in the most. Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's the one thing that I loved about Andor, is it even made stormtroopers seem menacing. It seemed like every single person that was a part of the Empire, they really were Nazis. Like, this is terrifying, okay? We are in World War II Germany. We're World War II Europe. Yeah, and it's scaring me. Like, when I was watching all this cannon fodder, right? As Saul Guerrero says, just drop like flies. Gorman Massacre was pretty terrifying. And of course, as an EU fan, you all know, like, how important that frickin' 1990 source book was for that piece of lore. It's been in Star Wars for a long time. And even in the first season, too, it's just like, dude, like, you see how crazy the prison system is in that show. I don't know, man. It just, if you told me before, and I went into this naked, right, and with no knowledge whatsoever of what Andor was, and you told me that the person that was writing it didn't even know anything about Star Wars, dude, I would think you're the biggest liar in the world. I would think that you're literally putting a spell on me and trying to poison me with lies, deceptions, because I don't know, man, everything fits so well, you know, like, to the very small detail. It's just like, wow, I felt like someone really loved the expanded universe, and then you find out that it's not actually people that even understand anything from the expanded universe. So, which is crazy. ISB is actually doing their job. Yes, the ISB is doing their job. I mean, listen, like I was telling you guys, I only was able to watch Star Wars in my childhood because my very strict father liked it. Outside of that, I was not able to do a lot of things. So Star Wars stuck with me throughout my entire life. So I eventually was able to listen to an audiobook when I was like 13. At a friend's sleepover one night, you know, and then and like when I was 19, I was out alone in the world, and I had a computer, so I started watching YouTube videos, and then I picked up a book. You know, slowly but surely, I started to get really into Star Wars, and then you start to see the expanded universe components that are vastly different from what the movie is, and you see how menacing and terrifying the Empire is. And especially the ISB, because there is times where I'm sure all of us have, like, gone out on Reddit or read YouTube comments or forums or watched videos on YouTube to the point where we're like, oh my god, the ISB is so terrifying. How come we don't see this in the movies? Andor showed that. And it's just like, wow. Imagine if we had that level of quality and fleshing out those components of the expanded universe and the Empire and the Rebellion and the Jedi and the Sith, to the level that Andor does in all these other eras of Star Wars. I don't know how people would sit here and make excuses to not watch Star Wars because it would be that good, you know? And that's what Andor brought to the table, you know? It really did. Did I hear Star Wars hot takes? Yo, Devin, everybody welcome Devin with the radio. Thanks for coming in. I think it came from our boy Mendez's Discord. Thank you so much for being here, fam. I'm watching a reaction right now from one of these content creators. I'm jealous Andor ISB isn't seen more. Yeah, same. I really wanted to see, like, agents. Like Imperial agents. You know, kind of like how we get from Knights of the Old Republic or Star Wars The Old Republic. I would have loved to see, like, a true... like Spec Ops Imperial agent. We kind of do get to see that in the episode where Mothma is fleeing the Senate, the Imperial Senate with Cassian, but Cassian absolutely destroys that person instantly. So that was really cool to see. I just wanted to see more, man. I just want to see more. That's it. I want an ISB show after watching Andor. Yes, man. That is cool. Like, I want to see how terrifying the ISB can, and you see it a little bit. And what's crazy is this isn't even before this is before the movie. This isn't even during the war, after the Death Star blows up, in Empire Strikes Back, where things are crazy. You know, man, I can only imagine like how more intense things can get. Ugh, but I love it, man. I love it. Skywalker says, for once, stormtroopers were scary. I think that is what we had. No Jedi or Force sensitives. Yeah, I know. I get it. I just wish we had more. That's it. I just want more. That's really the big criticism I have, is I really loved what I'm seeing from Andor. I just now want things that I like the most. You know? Is that bad? I don't think so. Leon says, I wish we somehow got more Chirrut Inua. Yeah, same. That would have been awesome. I would have loved to see a lot more Rogue One characters. I would have loved to see Jyn and everything that she's going through with the whole slave thing and, you know, freeing slaves and then also getting captured. I don't know. There's a lot of really great things in Star Wars, and a lot of it comes from the expanded universe.
Tackle those kind of themes in Star Wars. We need mind-numbing slop. Oh.
Okay. We have no...
We need is to be fed more fucking bland, garbage, and gluttonous when it comes to the praise.
Wait,
Can we
did
get season 2,
I,
please?
it's me.
It makes me upset because this show is incredible, and I know a lot of people have sung its praises and given it its flowers, but I still don't think it's enough. This donut deserves more glaze. It's not up to my satisfaction in here.
This donut deserves more glaze, chat. This donut deserves more. Dude, I think this guy is cooking. This guy is cooking, dude. Oh my god, dude. That is so good. Where's Trent? Trent, how come you dislike this guy? What did he do? What happened, Trent? Did he destroy a game that you really liked or something? I have to know. I must understand the lore. It would have been really cool to see normal average people in that little bit of Force abilities. Yeah. I mean, that's why I thought the Force healer was very magical, right? It's when you watch the prequel trilogy, you see Jedi every day. You see lightsabers all the time. You understand how everything works. But I loved the Force healer in Andor so much because it was so mystical, man. Like, you see it from a regular person's perspective. Cassian is a complete, what's it called? He's a non-believer, but there's a certain word for it. And he's going into this like, no, I don't like these people, this is so fake, just like the random psychic stores that you see on the side of the road that that it's probably just someone fibbing and trying to tool people, So, oh, come on, don't insult me like that. I watch lots of people that, no. I'm not attacking you. I just wanted to know why specifically you disliked him. I wasn't trying to. Sorry, I didn't mean for it to come off that way. I just don't like the way he talks. I don't know. Okay, all right, I understand. I mean, people don't like the way I talk, so I get it. I understand. But in Andor, where Cassian goes up and sees the Force healer, I think that is one of the most interesting parts of Andor, and it actually upsets me a little bit because they executed that part so well, where the lady just turns around, where she's so focused on healing the other person, and instantly is just drawn toward Cassian. And I felt like that was so very the Force. That was like mystical, mysterious. because I think a lot of times, especially in the prequels, and maybe even in current live action too, sometimes the Force is like watered down, you know, and not in a good way, right? That one I felt there was way more mystery. There was way more like, it's mystical again. This is very mysterious. And I think a lot of times Star Wars is best when things are not well explained. You know, it's not like completely drawn out for us. We have to imagine it ourselves. It gave me a very like Empire Strikes Back feel. That's what I really liked. Skywalker Academy says, I always love seeing normal people react to the Force and other magical aspects of Star Wars. Yes. Like, that's like the first season of The Mandalorian where Grogu picks up the Mudhorn and Din is trying to explain it to Kuiil. And Kuiil is like, can you explain that to me again? I don't really understand what happened. And Din is all like, I'm not really sure either, you know? And that is like one of the best parts of The Mandalorian that no one ever talks about. No one ever talks about. It is such a great scene. And because it makes the universe feel so amazing. You know Luke Skywalker. You know Darth Vader. You know the Emperor. But to these regular people that are like, dude, bounty hunting is a crazy job. They see some crazy-ish. And still, even someone like Din is like, I have no idea what I saw. You know? That is such a component of Star Wars that I think is missing a lot. And Andor did it well, and so did The Mandalorian. Tazzy, I couldn't see your stuff. I could not see what you said. David Torres says, Lord Dagovere, what do you mean people think your voice is AI? Oh, yeah, so I'll show you right now. Okay, I'll show you right now. So I use my narrating experience for my videos because, you know, I've tried doing face content before on my shorts, like just me. Hey guys, Darth Vader did this, and this was the one time where he killed a kaiju, you know, and people don't watch. People don't watch. I don't know what it is, but something about this doesn't attract viewers, right? I'm not saying I'm ugly. I'm not saying this. It's just sometimes people don't want to see a face. They want to get right to the stuff, and I think a lot of times, in my opinion, people associate a face with a type of content that they don't like. You know, like somebody else watching, you know, this guy. They may just say like, oh, this guy's a gamer. I don't care what he has to say. I need to get this for myself, you know. Someone like me. Oh, I saw this guy on Nerderotics channel. He really liked Anakin Skywalker, and he's a Disney shill. You know, so some people are very judgmental online, so that's what it is. So what I started doing is making YouTube shorts.
Mace Windu finally admits.
And I did faceless content. And so what that means is that my face is not there. It's just my voice.
Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one. During his duel with Darth Sidious,
so some people think that
Mace Windu is overwhelmed
voice
by a torrent
is AI.
of Force lightning.
You know, Mace Windu was going to give Anakin Skywalker the rank of Master. That's an AI voice. And so it's not, obviously, it's me. But some people just think that it's not a real person, even though I have a whole channel dedicated to my reactions and my streams and everything else that literally has my face. So, you know, just it's the same thing. It's like someone sees Anakin Skywalker is the coolest Jedi of all time. They just instantly type, nuh-uh, without watching the whole video, you know, reading the description, you know, without getting the context of the video. It's just, it is what it is. It's content. It's the name of the game. That's what it is. So that's what I usually mean when I say they think I'm AI. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Have you ever gotten into Final Fantasy? I like Cloud. I tried to play the Lightning game. Don't know which one. I did play the MMO 11 back in the day. It was a free game that you got with the Xbox 360, and that was the first time I purchased something with my own money because I wasn't being controlled. That's how I got obsessed with Halo. Halo got me obsessed with reading books because I liked Halo so much, and I played the MMO quite a bit until I realized you had to pay money to play the game after you initially purchased the game. which was something I didn't understand, especially someone that wasn't allowed to play video games. I didn't understand that world. Oh wow, you get a little sultry in that video. Oh, have you ever read Journey to the West? Yes. No. Okay. I have not read Journey to the West, but I love the lore for it. I'm a big Wukong guy. All right. I love it. And I've watched a lot of the old shows that they had back in the day. I watched a lot of the new movies too, so I really enjoy that lore. It's pretty sick. Yeah, Wukong is the man, dude. I love it. Come on, man. I love Dragon Ball Z, so I gotta know where the inspiration came from. Skywalker Academy says, I actually thought it was an AI when I first saw on your shorts, but then I realized it wasn't because of the interaction. Yes, so the inflections, you can always hear my chair. You can always hear this chair squeaking. And then my voice also, sometimes I stutter. I mean, come on, man. Like, it's, all you have to do is listen to it, and you can literally hear my lips smack and me, breathe and all these other things. It's not that hard to tell, but it's not an AI. It's just someone that has some narration skills, and that's it. I was taught how to do that, and I projected my voice well, and that's it. That's literally it. Leon says, seeing Anakin fight Sephiroth would be crazy. Yeah, I think, I don't know. Video game is so different, and Sephiroth lore is crazy. Cloud, there's super soldiers, and then yeah, it'd be interesting, but I don't know. That's a very interesting. I think they would give our characters a very, very tough fight. Which reminds me, did anybody see Superman today? Did anybody see Superman the last week or so? And if you did, press 1 in the chat. I'm not going to go spoilers, but I had a lot of my family ask me questions about Palpatine versus Superman. I'm not going to say any spoilers. And if you guys have seen it, please, no spoilers in the chat. But a lot of people that from my family were asking if how would Superman fight against Sidious? How well would he do? And so I'm a big DC guy, and I've read quite a few comics. I'm not how do I say? I'm not as well versed in everything like I am Star Wars, But I will tell you, Superman will struggle against Sidious. Why? Because this is not Injustice. We're not talking about the Injustice evil Superman where he's just going to punch one person and that's it, he's going to die. Superman has a very Jedi mentality. In fact, I think Superman's mentality is probably even a little bit more Boy Scout than certain Jedi, but he's a very good guy, and he's always holding back. But historically speaking, Superman always struggles against magic. Always struggles against magic. The Force? Is it magic? It's not magic, but it might give Superman a really, really, really hard time. Do I think Darth Sidious is powerful enough to withstand a punch from Superman? No, absolutely not. But I think that with how Boy Scouty Superman is, Sidious is absolutely going to exploit Superman in every way possible. Is he going to, make Superman choose between saving this planet he's about to blow up and kill Lois Lane? I think that's going to be like the decision. Superman, in my opinion, is fighting a very, very evil individual that even George Lucas says is the devil. I'm not sure if Superman will be able to do what's necessary to destroy someone like Sidious. But when power for power, obviously Superman is stronger, but I don't think Superman is going to have a good day trying to fight and defeat Sidious. Sidious might possibly win. Sidious might have the advantage because of who he is and who Superman is, and his and how much Superman struggles against magic. It's crazy. It's in my opinion, it's his resistance to magic. Like, that's what it is. And it's not just, we're not just talking about force lightning and telekinesis and all of these things. Like, we're talking about rituals and crazy things, that Sidious is probably capable of doing. Mind control, really interesting, which of course Superman is susceptible to. There's a lot of really interesting things that Sidious can create out of pocket to maybe, at the very least, keep Superman at bay or potentially use Superman's strength against him. So, it would be a really interesting fight, and I don't think Superman would have it very easy. So Superman versus any Jedi and Sith would be a weird fight. I think if he's fighting any normal Jedi, he's beating the Jedi, but the Jedi isn't going to be able to think about the most disgusting, chaotic, terrible things that he could do. Palpatine is evil, pure evil. The embodiment of evil, and I think Superman's going to struggle. Tazzy says, in my opinion, it depends on the Superman, like Frontier of Hope. Well, yeah, of course. I'm just thinking of, like, Superman's basic powers, because that's the problem with comic books, right? Where someone also was talking a while back about what character suffers the most. And in my opinion, top 3 characters that have suffered the most that I know is Gollum from Lord of the Rings, Guts from Berserk, and Anakin Skywalker. I think those characters suffer the most. And someone was like, what about Spider-Man? And it's just like, yes, Spider-Man suffers, but the problem when you go up against like a character like or you're comparing a character like Anakin Skywalker or Gollum or Guts, is like all of those characters have one story. Spider-Man's got a kajillion lives and multiverses and shit. I'm not interested. Yes, there are versions of Spider-Man where he's suffering and everybody dies, and I think even there's a comic or something where like he gets bitten and then he's also contagious or something and everybody's dying around. It's like, it's just too much. It's too much when you get into that whole thing. But sure, yeah, Spider-Man suffers too, I guess. Guts. To me, it's Guts, Smeagol, and Anakin Skywalker in that order, in my opinion. From Guts is the top, and then Smeagol, and then Anakin. 3. He would be 3rd place, in my opinion. Spider-Man and Batman are only 2 movie franchises that I'll watch day one, no matter what. Yeah, I never really was interested in Spider-Man too much. The movie that like made me respect Spider-Man a lot is probably the what is the one that came out? The animated one, the Spider-Verse. That one is very good. I think that's very well done. You can see a lot of passion and love into it. But I just never cared about Spider-Man in general. I was a Batman boy through and through. I was a Batman fan through and through. But then I started not liking Batman as much because I was just so embarrassed to be a Batman fan. And Batman fans also, at least the people that I knew, hated Superman. And then everybody hated Superman. And that made me love Superman even more. So I guess like superhero wise, it was probably like Batman, Teen Titans, specifically Raven. I really liked Raven's suffering. And then it was Superman. So those are like all those 3, like that's my superhero stuff. I never really cared about Marvel, didn't care. Marvel was irrelevant when I was growing up, guys. Like the way everybody makes fun of DC now, they were making fun of Marvel back then. It was only until the Avengers movies came out where all of a sudden Marvel was the ish, and then DC was complete trash after the Dark Knight trilogy. So very interesting times that we see this now, but it is what it is. No empire lives forever, Spider-Man's one of the best superheroes. Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, I know, I don't trust me, I do not disagree, but it's not one of those things that I appreciate as much as the things that I already liked because I grew up with it. I had more empathy towards it. I resonated with it, those things. I never resonated with a kid in New York that went around and his uncle got shot, and all these things, and he had superpowers. I'm not a superpower guy. I didn't get bitten by a spider. I have a phobia of spiders, actually, so I'm not really into Spider-Man. I liked Batman. He didn't have parents. He had to grow up himself. He had to use his tools and things like that. Of course, he's a billionaire. I don't really resonate with that, but it was his determination and his motivation, his resolve, all these things. He was just a human, and so that's what I liked the most about Batman. He was a superhero that wasn't super, you know? I mean, although his money is super, I guess. The early Batman shows were so good. Yes, Justice League, Batman animation, Superman animated, and Justice League Unlimited, Teen Titans were like everything. If those things came out today, I don't think DC would have a problem keeping up with what Marvel was doing. But that was like, you're watching Dragon Ball Z, and then you're watching Justice League. You know, you're watching whatever anime is coming out on Saturday night, and then you're watching new episodes of Teen Titans on Toonami. You know, like, that's how big it was. Like, there was nothing else happening. There was nothing else happening in the superhero stuff. Spider-Man had a couple shows, and like with the X-Men show, which was amazing, but that was way before any of the Justice League stuff and Batman stuff was happening. Marvel sucks now, though? I don't think so. I don't think Marvel sucks. I just think people are starting to realize that this is as far as Marvel can go. When you take away the main superheroes like Iron Man, the Hulk, who isn't really the Hulk at all, you know, like, that's it. You don't have anybody else. Captain America, in my opinion, not allowing or killing off Iron Man and killing off Captain America killed Marvel, because the larger fan base of Marvel only knows the original Avengers. And in my opinion, Iron Man and Captain America and the Hulk are the most popular Avengers. Who are you going to bring to the movies now? Squirrel Girl? Yeah? I'm not dissing that character. There's a lot of people that love that character. But the brand is really going to show how important it is, or how great it is, when the stories are stopping without these characters. And that's, in my opinion, why it's very hard to grip these people again, because they just saw Endgame. They just saw the pinnacle of that, you know? And so now, in my opinion, the only way to recapture that is you have to introduce a new Iron Man. You have to introduce a new Captain America. And that's where the comic book has the advantage, is because it can consistently reset itself and tell the story over and over, because it doesn't need to recast anybody. And that's the problem with the movies. You can have a Batman movie come out once every 7 years, it's going to make a lot of money. You can have a Superman movie come out once every few years, people will care. But Marvel, I don't know, man. I don't know. How are you going to replace Iron Man? How are you going to replace Captain America? You know, how are you going to replace the Hulk? All these characters after what they just did. That is tough. And then on top of that, people don't care about new IPs, because look at the Eternals. The Eternals was not a bad movie. Was the Eternals slow? Yes. Was the Eternals different? Absolutely. But the Eternals wasn't a bad movie. And you have Angelina Jolie on contract, and you never used her? You never used her after the Eternals? You kidding me? In the world, in the time, in the era where we have female actresses trying to be lead female actresses and boss ass bitches in this world, and you're not using Angelina Jolie? I think that is the problem right there. That is the problem right there. You have the tools, and you're not using them. That's why Marvel, in my opinion, has been struggling. But I don't know, man. You never know. We could watch the Fantastic Four and then see Doctor Doom and everything else. Who knows? But I'm just a guy. I'm just a DC fan. I don't know anything. They brought Sentry. Yeah. Yep. Saying that as far as Marvel can go is also a crazy take. I don't think it's crazy. Look at them right now, you know? I don't need to say it, because it's already happened. Like, every time Marvel comes out, it's a miss. You know, they're apparently they're losing money, or they're not making as much money, you know, and then the CGI is this, you know, and then Captain America movie is that. And mind you guys, like, I'm not hating on this stuff, but it's clear that it's just a different era of these movies, you know? That's it. That's it. Yeah, let's be real. Those characters are going to be in the next big Avengers movie. Yeah, you should probably go back to talking about Star Wars. Angelina Jolie didn't want to stay with Marvel long term. Oh my God, that is tragic. I didn't even know that. Really? I didn't even know that, man. That's so crazy. Was it like a money? If you guys don't mind me talking, is it like a money situation? Or she just was like, nah, I'm not interested? Because her character and what's the guy that's the Joker in the Batman movie? The Druid? He was very Anakin Skywalker-like. Those characters were very, very interesting. And then you had Jon Snow, who was like I don't know what it was. It was like a blade something. I don't know. Mind you guys, I don't know shit about this stuff. So, but for me as a casual fan who just watches it, like that was very interesting, you know. I just think it's really hard to bring back what Marvel was when that Thanos story was done and characters died, you know, because people have attachment. They're very attached to these previous characters, like Iron Man and like Captain America, and there hasn't really been, you know, an Avengers level threat / movie. I don't know, man. It's I think it's just gonna be hard to kick it back up, you know, because there was like a decade of planning in that, man. Like phases and everything else. I didn't really understand the phases, but like I knew that every story was pointing to somewhere, you know. And that was cool. That was cool as like a casual fan who didn't know anything. It was like, wow, this is really cool. You know, if I wasn't so invested into Star Wars, I would pick up a comic, you know. That was interesting. Everything you're saying is not. It's true. Oh, okay. Everything you're saying is not. Okay. Hang on. So I hate a lot of it. Marvel has done. I'm not a Marvel apologist here, but bro, everything you're saying is not true. So I think you. Yeah, obviously you don't follow Marvel news, so it's okay. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm only just talking about the movies from a casual standpoint, you know? Maybe I'll bring it back up after Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. I hope so, because I don't know what they're going to do after that, you know? So I hope they execute it well. Skywalker Academy says, here's a Star Wars take. A friend of mine said, Anakin was perfect Jedi. No, that's not true. All right, listen, guys. You guys know I'm the biggest Anakin. I think we can all understand. Press 1 in the chat that we all know that I'm a huge Anakin Skywalker fan, Darth Vader fan, right? I will be the first to tell you that Anakin Skywalker is a terrible Jedi. Anakin Skywalker is not a great Jedi. That's the whole point of the character, is that he is so powerful and he has so much potential, but because he's being manipulated by the most powerful Dark Lord the galaxy has ever seen, he squanders it because he makes bad choices and he has terrible mental health and he's also an abuse victim and he was a slave, you know, and you know his mother died and he had no father, and then the person that he thought it was going to be his father died, you know. So all of these things go into the tragedy that Anakin Skywalker is. That's his story, is a tragedy. Anakin Skywalker is not a hero like Captain America. He has potential. He does amazing things that we've always talked about. But Anakin Skywalker, in my opinion, is not a great Jedi because he kills women and children. And I'm not talking about when he turns to the dark side, bro. I'm literally talking about Attack of the Clones. You know, he's a very, very, you know, upset and hurt individual. And him being part of the Force, like, dude, he's literally the son of the Force. I don't think people really comprehend how much he is feeling. But yes, I can't in good conscience say that Anakin Skywalker is a great Jedi. Like a lot of people will always talk about like who's the best Jedi ever, and they will say Anakin Skywalker. I'm just like, man, we missed the plot. Like we did not understand the assignment. Like straight up, like were we watching the same movie? You know, I love Anakin Skywalker. He's my favorite character in all of Star Wars. No one comes close. Him and Vader. But like, I feel like as Anakin Skywalker fans, if I can be the ambassador of Anakin Skywalker fans, there is a lot of Anakin Skywalker fans that just straight up do not acknowledge the things that he did, you know, and it's a little disturbing, to be honest. Honestly, that's how I feel, you know. That's how I feel, honestly. If I was gonna say who is the greatest Jedi of all time, Luke is up there. Luke is absolutely up there. Obi-Wan Kenobi is absolutely up there. Kanan Jarrus, definitely up there. You know, I personally, I would have to go with Luke. Just because of everything that Luke did, it's like, I think the default answer is Luke. Going into the Death Star with the two most evil people in the galaxy, turning one back to the light side, and helping dethrone and destroy the other one, bringing back balance, helping the Chosen One steer his course when literally no one else in the world in his existence helped him, not even the love of his life. Come on now. Qui-Gon, yes, absolutely, Trent. 100%. Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon is more of a Jedi than majority of Jedi. It's crazy how loyal he is to the Force, man. Also, Trent, I'm so sorry if I annoyed the hell out of you with the Marvel stuff, man. I would love to hear your stuff. I don't know if you're in the Discord or not, but I would just like to be educated to understand, you know, because I don't want to spew shit that doesn't make sense later. But I will say, I hope I didn't make the wrong impression. I'm still excited. I wanted to buy a damn Fantastic Four shirt because I'm excited about the whole bow. I'm excited. I play Marvel Rivals, bro, so I do enjoy it, you know. Perfect or best? So when I say like perfect for Qui-Gon, I'm talking about like the Force is what he follows. And I think that's what the Jedi should do. I think he is the perfect Jedi in terms of like what your foundation and morals should be for the Force. That's how he is. Is Qui-Gon a gray Jedi in your eyes? Absolutely, he is a gray Jedi. He is not someone that uses the dark side of the Force. That is untrue. That is not true. I hope you guys have seen that video essay. I think we've all seen it. He is someone that openly disobeys the Jedi and follows the Force on his own. And that is the official of official gray Jedi definition. He is the gray Jedi. He is the only person in the entire continuity of Star Wars, both Legends and New Canon, to ever be referenced as a gray Jedi. And that was in the 1995 Star Wars issue that I've shown in my video essay. He is the only one that is called a gray Jedi by Tivoca. It is insane. He is the literal gray Jedi. Honestly, Cal Kestis is one of the best. I think he's up there. I don't think he's top 10, though, for sure. I don't think he's top 10. I don't think he's top 10. Leon says, what do you guys think is the best Jedi, the best overall Jedi? Yeah, it's definitely Luke for me. I think Luke. Luke in skill and everything else and who he is, he's up there, you know? Yeah, it's the same thing with Revan. Like, Revan is amazing, but I can't in good conscience call him the greatest Jedi of all time because he fell to the dark side. It's the same reason why I can't call Anakin. It's the same thing. I just can't call them because of that history. It's not it, you know? Plo Koon was a great Jedi. Yes, very good. Very great Jedi, but not my top 10. Yes. A Dagobah Yoda, great Jedi. Interesting, Logan. Yes, I would think so. But, yes. Yeah. No, I think it makes sense. I think that's a very good take. Is Dagobah Yoda a gray Jedi? And now we're talking about the Jedi that only follow the Force. They disobey the Order openly. I could see Yoda in that state, in that mind, with all of his failures and everything that has gone on. Yes, I can see his ideology sway to more of a gray Jedi. Like, yes, we were wrong. I was wrong. This is our ideology now. Very similar to Qui-Gon. I think so. Absolutely. Trent said, I'm pretty sure that George said that was his idea of a perfect Jedi. Qui-Gon? Are you talking about Qui-Gon? Skywalker Academy says, do you think Cal Kestis could become a gray Jedi? So, in my opinion, I don't think Cal or Kanan or Ezra can be a gray Jedi, because you would have to know and be around the Order, like during the time of the Order, and I think that automatically disqualifies them, only because they are not learning the rest of the... Balin says something really interesting in Ahsoka, in the Ahsoka series, and he says, Boken Jedi. Like, they're not of the original Order. They're kind of like variants and distorted versions of Jedi, which I think is really interesting. And that's honestly what I see characters like Kanan and Cal and Ezra, you know, even Ahsoka a little bit, you know, because she left the Jedi, you know. I think Ahsoka is more of a gray Jedi than those other characters, you know. But then, of course, you go back to what being a Jedi is, because now she's around Luke, and the Jedi Order is about to happen. You know, there's a lot of really interesting things. So that's, like, good food for thought. We should probably talk about that next stream. And yeah, Qui-Gon is the perfect Jedi. I don't disagree with that. If I'm putting, like, a poster up of who a Jedi should be, it's probably Qui-Gon Jinn. Like, his picture is the definition, right? Revan and Ulick failed where Luke succeeded. Exactly, Logan. Oh my gosh, man, Ulick. The story of Ulick. All right, I'm gonna give you. This might be a hot take, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Ulick Qel-Droma's story might be one of the most underappreciated Star Wars stories of all time. Ulick Qel-Droma might be one of the most underrated characters in all of Star Wars. To me, he's a top 10 character because of everything he goes through and everything that happens to him. Ulick Qel-Droma is a story that needs to happen right now. And it's kind of crazy that we have not got any type of anything from Tales of the Jedi, Exar Kun, Odan Nomi Sunrider, and Ulick Qel-Droma. That is a story that we need to have yesterday, man. Ulick Qel-Droma's story is incredible. Is my boy Ezra a gray Jedi? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. I think he's a Jedi. I think, well, I don't know. It's so interesting because his view of the Force is so different in the Ahsoka series than it was in Rebels. And to me, he was more like a Jedi at the end of Rebels. You know, he was a Jedi. But the way how he doesn't really need a lightsaber, doesn't want a lightsaber, and lets Sabine keep it, and then he makes his own new one with Kanan's parts and everything, that was really interesting. And the way that he was kind of detached from everything in Peridia, I don't know. I have to see the rest of it. Like, I have to see where his story is going to really think about that, you know? Logan says, I think Yoga wanted to gravitate to Qui-Gon Jinn philosophy, but his duties to the Order and Code held him back until the Purge. Yeah, and with everything going on there in the Shroud of the Dark Side, I don't disagree. I think he got too political. I think Yoda definitely wanted to disconnect, but it was such a complicated time that it seems like he got so tangled in everything else that was happening. Leon says, what do you think would have been the best thing to do with Kylo Ren in the sequel? Not kill him. Not kill him. Not kill him. Kylo Ren should have been... I don't even know what to call it. I'm not going to call it a gray Jedi. Kylo Ren should have been a renegade. A renegade of the Force. That's what Kylo Ren should have been. I think killing him off in The Rise of Skywalker, in my opinion, was the worst decision in the entire sequel trilogy. And you guys know that I am very critical of the sequel trilogy, but Kylo Ren is like the best thing about the sequel trilogy, man. I don't want to hear about his thwarted potential and this and stuff. I still think that character is amazing. To me, and even with me, like, Anakin Skywalker Vader is my favorite character. My second favorite character, depending on what day it is Revan or Kylo Ren. Like, I love that character so much, you know? And if he does not die in The Rise of Skywalker for some very interesting decision making, I gotta pour one out for my boy, bro. Oh my god. What could have been? Truly, what could have been? I've been theory crafting so much about how to bring this bastard back alive. And the only way that I think it's possible if someone literally flow walks. Like, Rey has to find the Sancti, they teach her how to flow walk, and then she minutely changes details that happen in The Rise of Skywalker that alter the damage done to her, and so Kylo Ren is not dead. But then flow walking isn't time travel. But it is, oh man, it's just, I don't know why they did that, man. Oh, it's so frustrating. And again, guys, I'm not one of those like toxic fans that has to say, she's not a Skywalker, she is, or she's a, I don't buy into that bullshit. I'm not about that life, But man, Kylo Ren could have been the greatest character potentially in Star Wars. And he should have been a renegade of the Force. He should have just followed the Force. If he wanted to get angry and use the dark side, let him succumb to it. If he wanted to turn back to the light, let him do it. He could have been a new version of Jedi and Sith. I'm not saying he would have been either of those. He could have been something new that we've never seen before. Oh, man. I just get so frustrated. I get so frustrated thinking about it. Oh my God, man. Same thing with Finn. Like, that's the one thing I'm really excited about, guys. I know I'm trailing off here from all the questions in chat, but like, I am very excited for the new movies in the sequel trilogy because they can finally just write a story. It can finally just be original stuff. They don't have to worry about Luke Skywalker and Han and Sidious. It can just be its own thing, and I think that's going to be a huge advantage. Will it be executed well? Only time will tell. But I'm always going to be optimistic about Star Wars until I see it, and then I'll let you know exactly how I feel. But there's always potential in something new, and I hope they've learned from their past. And that's all I'm going to say. Leon says, we could have had some mode of watch New Jedi. Yeah, but even still, it's just like, I don't want to do what's back there. I don't want to do what's in Legends. I want to do something new, and I want to do something good and new. Kylo Ren was perfect, in my opinion. Kylo Ren was perfect. He was perfect up until they killed him off. Finish the Lego. Let's go. I'm probably gonna finish mine tonight. At the very least, they could have kept him around. Yes, absolutely. It's just frustrating, man. I just don't like. That's why I can't get behind The Last Jedi. Why do you kill off Luke Skywalker? I would have been absolutely okay with everything in that movie if Luke Skywalker stays alive. Killing off a character is a permanent decision. You cannot do that. Yes, sure, you bring back Maul, but Maul still dies. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in a live action sense. When you kill off a character in live action, you have to make sure that's it. The story is written. And I just felt like just when this character is just getting started, right decision, wrong time, in my opinion. Yeah, imagine if the Knights of Ren were related to Revan. That'd be cool. I don't think that's probably a thing though. I love the Knights of Ren, by the way. Oh my God, I love the Knights of Ren. It's just, I love it, dude. Make a Kylo the main villain to the sequels. I don't think he should have been. I really liked his character. Was kind of, I'm evil, but I'm not, and I like my grandfather. I hate my mother, but I love my mother. I really like that. I thought that was very conflicted in Sith, in Jedi, and Anakin. Very Anakin, man. I liked it a lot. It's just frustrating the way it went out. Kylo just felt like an edgy LARPer to me. Yeah, I know. I hear that. I hear that from a lot of die-hard Expanded Universe fans. Like I do. As a die-hard Expanded Universe fan, I disagree. And Kylo was almost exactly what I wanted. Honestly. Kylo was so close to what I wanted. But that's just who I am. I'm always the guy like saying, I don't know, I really like this, when everybody else doesn't, But he made me feel that way in The Force Awakens. It was the only thing I liked about The Last Jedi. It's been the only character that I consistently like. You know, I don't know, man. It's like, you guys know how I talk about everybody hated the prequels, and you know, a lot of people hated Hayden Christensen and everything like that. That's how I felt about Kylo. Like, I really like this character. You know, like, Kylo only had 3 movies. Anakin has 6. You know? You already knew who Anakin was because of the original trilogy. If you take away the original trilogy and only have Anakin Skywalker the way he is up until Revenge of the Sith, you know, that's how I feel Kylo is. That's how I feel Kylo has, you know, touched down on the fandom. And that's what I see Kylo Ren as. He's like the Anakin Skywalker that didn't get his Revenge of the Sith and the original trilogy. That's how I feel about Kylo Ren. And that's why I love that character. That's why he's one of my favorite. But I often see the potential of characters, and a lot of other people do not. And that is just a problem of mine, you know. So I will die on that hill. And I understand and defer to you guys not liking him. So I understand, you know. I'm going to say this forever. Kylo Ren deserves a prequel immediately. Kylo Ren deserves sequels. That character should not be dead. That character should be involved, whether he's a Force ghost or something else. He was trained by Luke at a very young age. There is no way in hell Luke Skywalker did not train him in the ways of the Force ghosts and everything else. There is just absolutely no way. I will not believe that, you know. But that's a problem too. Like, now you've demoted him to a Force ghost, you know. I don't know. It's just, you shouldn't have had to do that. Now you're going to have to make up ways to make it make sense, you know. Off topic, but 2 or 3 away from finishing my Mando trailer. Genuinely surprised how well it's turning out. Let's go. I can't wait. Make sure you put in the Discord when you have a chance in the YouTube stuff, please. David Torres says, how can you say how powerful Luke is when there isn't any other Jedi to compare to him except Ahsoka? Well, he's a Skywalker. And because of the expanded universe, the books and the comics, you get to see how strong Luke is. Like, all right, I'll give you an example. In The Return of the Jedi, Luke is going to die, right? Luke is going to die to Darth Sidious. In the comic book series that takes place after that, Sidious comes back, and he's more powerful. And then he gets a new body, and he's even more powerful than that. Luke Skywalker destroys him in 3 comic book panels. And Luke Skywalker isn't even in his prime. And Luke Skywalker isn't even in his prime. And Luke Skywalker isn't even in his prime. It's like what I tell you all the time with these power gaps. It's like, there is good, there is great, there is amazing, and then there's Luke Skywalker. You know, like, it's just like, he is like the Superman of Star Wars. He's everything his father was not. And what's crazy is we don't even know how he died. He could have ascended even further. You know, yeah. If someone is out there saying we can't tell how strong Luke Skywalker is, that is untrue. Luke Skywalker to me is the Superman of Star Wars. Like, he's just so powerful, so strong. You know, there's always a level that he's ascending to, man. Legends Luke on Palp's on different tier. Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy. And Palpatine is the strongest. That's crazy, you know. Luke is literally the son of the son. Yeah, dude. Like, he is the embodiment of the Force at times. If there was a Super Saiyan in Star Wars, Luke would have that. No, sorry. If there was a Super Saiyan in Star Wars, it would be Anakin Skywalker on Mortis. If there was a Super Saiyan God in Star Wars, it would be Luke Skywalker in his prime. That is who it is, you know? Like, that's how insane it is. All right, I'll do one more question, and then we'll head out, because it's already over. I'm sorry, guys, for the whole Marvel and Superman talk. I apologize. I'm a Star Wars guy. I stay in my lane usually, but sometimes I get excited, you know? Especially because this last week, because I saw Jurassic Park, and I saw Superman, and I am excited for Fantastic Four. So it's Pedro Pascal, man. It's Mando, so I'm pretty excited. So in your eyes, like, is more powerful than Anakin? Yes, absolutely. And look, mind you, Anakin Skywalker has the most potential in all of Star Wars because he is the son of the Force. He is Jesus Christ of Star Wars, right? But he lost, and he got his arms and legs cut off. So he is like a fraction of what he was supposed to be. Luke Skywalker is practically everything and more of what Anakin should have been. You know, I would even argue that even with how amazing Luke is, Anakin still has more potential. But that's the problem. Potential was never reached. Luke, however, that's a very, very, very good argument and discussion that you could have about how strong Luke Skywalker could have been. Logan says, hot take, I saw that it was more than realistic for the original trilogy characters to fail during the sequel than for them to stay together as a family like in the EU. I saw it was more realistic. Yes, I agree. I'm not upset that the way that they went out. I just felt like they didn't do a great job at passing the torch, you know, and I didn't like how every movie someone had to die. It just, you know, it's like a ride where, you know, you're on the roller coaster and you know when the whatever is going to come. It's just, you know, I don't know, man. Just, yeah, you know. Hot take I saw was Anakin says, yeah, Anakin is OP either way. Yeah, Anakin is. Anakin was pretty OP, and it was potential. I mean, George even says he's going to be the Emperor of the Universe if he doesn't die, if he doesn't get hurt on Mustafar, and that says a lot. That's crazy. Like, Emperor of the Universe. You know, that's George Lucas's words. People will say, like, no, he didn't mean, like, no, bro, he said Emperor of the Universe. Okay? The universe is never said ever in Star Wars, and George Lucas said that. You know, I'm taking that down to a T, bro. I'm taking it down till I die. You know? But yeah, guys, that's it, man. Tomorrow I have my podcast with Starlight Pod, which is really awesome. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. Please continue to check the shorts, baby, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Get in those comments, man. I want to see you guys if you can. If not, just like the video. But I will see you around, fam. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, apprentices and acolytes and fellow lords coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force sensitives like yourself. I'm Lord Dagovere, fam. And I'll see you around. Deuces.